My father passed away in January of this year from COVID, and I think after he passed away, I started noticing on the news in different places about different towns. I saw lanterns being done. I saw different memorials, and I realized that the Cape hadn't done anything for all the victims that had passed away here. The flag concept came just because my cousin Tim Luce owns the Flagman store in Centerville, and I knew that's something that I could get easily. So I said, let's do a flag memorial for each COVID victim. I was trying to do something that, for the families, and just to let the families know that they are remembered, their loved ones are not just a statistic, and I think that's basically where the idea came from. My dad was the most giving person. He'd give you the shirt off his back, even to a stranger. And he was the type that I think if he was still here, I think first of all, he'd be very proud of everybody that was involved, not just me, because he was that type of person. He wanted to give kudos to everybody. But he owned a tuxedo store called Dennis John Formals for about 40 years, and he was so giving. Like, he would give free tuxedo to the people that needed it. He would go out of his way to, I know P-Town, they used to have proms, and he would go all the way to deliver them just because the kids couldn't get them. I've heard so many stories from people that I don't know from giving things that he did. So with him being so giving, I wanted to give back in some way to honor him as well as all the other COVID victims. The Rotary was an adventure. I will say that. I didn't realize when I started that it was going to be such a process. It's owned by the state, and I get with the safety issues, it was a tough location to be at. I picked that location because most people travel around it so many times a day, the people that live here, the tourists, and I just thought it was a really good place for people to see the number. The COVID victims are more than a number, so when you just hear it, you don't really, notice how many people have unfortunately passed away from it until you see it. So I figured that the Rotary would be a pretty good place to do it. It was there for 5 weeks. And then we moved it over here. I actually got the names through all the media avenues, newspapers and things like that, and there was a COVID email address where anybody that lost a loved one could email me the information, and I put it on the flags. We put a flag out for every individual that passed away, but if somebody wanted a personalized one, they sent information into the email. The email address is covidvictimsofcapecod@yahoo.com. As long as people know about it, and that goes for everybody, but specifically the families. When we were here on Sunday, I know a lot of family members felt the same way I do. It's almost therapeutic. It's nice to be able to come and see the flag, and it almost feels like a kind of closure that none of us got to have. The way they, went alone, and so some people don't like cemeteries. Some people, haven't been able to say goodbye. So this is kind of a nicer place to come. I know on Sunday a few families had pictures and things like that, and they just came and kind of sat with the flag. And but yeah, like I said, it's just a small way to honor the victims and their families.